A lot of people resting up today and loading up on those carbs. This right here is a live look of downtown Austin, where runners will be lining up tomorrow morning for the Austin Marathon and half marathon. Thousands of athletes will hit the streets, and there's still time to sign up if you want to take part. Seton is the medical sponsor of this year's race, and one thing medical professionals will be watching out for are running injuries.
Here to explain what injuries are typically seen when people run like this, and even some new features added to this year's race, is Dr. Pierre Filardi. Did I say that correctly?
Yes. Good morning.
And he's with Seton.
You're a runner yourself. You say
Yes.
you just recently retired, though.
Yeah, I had a few injuries myself.
Yeah.
That put me on the sidelines.
And you've done the half marathon of this
Here in
race
Austin,
before,
yes.
a couple times.
Couple times.
At least. And so what kind of injuries pop up on race day?
Well, I like to think of the runner's injuries as sort of in two categories. The most common runner's injuries are usually referred to as the big five. It's plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendon problems, anterior shin splints are on the front of the leg, IT band as it's called, knee pain, and hip and back injuries.
Are they typically injuries that runners have already seen pop up during training?
Oh yes, yeah, those sorts of things. They say half of all runners will experience one of those injuries
Wow.
in any given year. So the runners are all used to that and have hopefully dealt with it by race day.
Are there any injuries that tend to pop up from people who maybe haven't trained as well as they should have? Maybe it's a first-time injury. Is there something you see kind of with the newbies more than anyone else?
Well, with newbies, any one of those 5 or 6 things that I mentioned are really going to be more likely to pop up, and to a worse degree, particularly people that are on that crash program. Sure. They say, I'm going to get ready to run the marathon, and they've got all enthusiasm, but they don't give their body time to adapt. So they're out there training without perhaps a proper base of slow, gradual progression with their training, and that's when the injuries are really going to pop up.
Yeah, I've been there, done that. I did a half marathon one time and really didn't. I'm so embarrassed to say I probably ran 3 miles max even before that. I mean, I was young, got out there and did it, but I really couldn't walk for a few days afterwards. What about after the race?
Well, after the race, people need time to recover. Some people are big on doing cooling, cool the muscles. Some people do ice baths or run cold water over their legs. The main thing to recover is just to take a couple of days off, maybe do some cross training and pay attention to your eating and drinking, and just eat a good diet.
How does the weather play into muscles and...
Well, I'm thinking that as far as forecasts go, you probably couldn't ask for a better one for tomorrow. I would think the biggest issue for marathon runners is either running too cold, where your muscles seize up just a little bit, or running too hot. And I know heat exhaustion can even cancel marathons sometimes. I have a good friend who was trying to run a marathon in Chicago, and about mile 23, they came over the loudspeakers and said that the race is canceled. So as far as the forecast, you should be feeling pretty good about what's going to happen for all the folks tomorrow, right? Have you checked it out so far?
Yeah, as I like to say, it's all about the weather. I'm thrilled with the forecast for tomorrow. I like to see it cool at start time and maybe a little bit cool at finish time, and that has a direct impact on a couple of the things that we see every year that are really more aligned with what we do at the finish line medical tent, which is a few cases of heat stroke happen every year. And then if it's warm, people tend sometimes to drink too much, and they can develop that condition that the runners may have heard of called hyponatremia, which means they literally drink so much fluid that they dilute the salt level in their bloodstream down to a concerning level. So, and those are directly impacted by the weather. So I like to think, yeah, it's all about the weather.
I hadn't even heard of that second condition, so I'm glad that we're going to be aiming kind of right in the middle for you all. And the kickoff time tomorrow is 6 a.m., is that correct?
I believe the race kicks off at 7.
At 7?
Everybody's going to be out there at 5 o'clock probably.
5 o'clock, trying to plan for it. Well, I do have a planner if we want to head over to my forecast. I just thought it would be a nice little transition coming out of our speech today. And thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome.